What's up, you guys? We are back working on the Chevy 3100. As you guys can see, we removed everything that was here and we have a new setup for the back. Now, there are two reasons why we are changing to this setup right here. This notch right here does not give us enough clearance to drop this truck as low as we like. And reason number two, the link arms were set up in a way where it's meant for static ride height. So if we were to change ride height as we are driving down the road, it would actually change the pinion angle and can cause some vibrations. So instead, we're gonna go with the Watts link. That way, the pinion angle stays the same no matter what ride height we are at. So instead of trying to fix this, we're just gonna replace the whole entire back half. Now this back half right here, Andrew actually designed completely from scratch on CAD and had each piece cut out and he welded it all together. So we're gonna go ahead and start marking this up on where we need to cut this whole back half off and start installing the new one. Man, this thing is so close to becoming a roller. We got a lot done to this so far. I think what we need left is to do the shocks and a couple of other small minor things. Now we have the axles. These are 31 spline axles. We're going to install these along with the third member, but we do have an issue with that. We were scammed. We bought this 9-inch third member from Facebook Marketplace, and we were told that this was a 31 spline differential. And we never checked. We just took the guy's word for it and just bought it. So I told Andrew, I was like, hey, let's go ahead and fit the axles in and see if they actually slide in. And they didn't. So I took this apart and I went ahead and counted each spline, and this is actually a 28 spline. So this is not a 31 spline. Unfortunately, this whole third member is not gonna work, which is a huge bummer because this thing is so close to rolling on its own weight. So while we wait for that, I'm gonna go ahead and start installing some brake components. Now this is a complete brake kit that we got from Speedway, and no, we are not sponsored by Speedway. However, they do have some really nice bolt-on parts. So we have the brake pedal assembly where the brake booster attaches to. We have this bracket that attaches this assembly to the frame. We have our combination valve right here, our master cylinder here, and our brake booster here. Now, the reason why we need a brake booster is we're actually converting this truck from its original drum to disc. So that takes a lot of pressure from the master cylinder. So in order to be able to build up that pressure, we need more force, and this brake booster is going to help us provide that force. So I'm not going to permanently install this onto the truck yet, because obviously we still need to paint the frame, install the body, and so on and so on. But I want to get an idea of how I'm going to run these brake lines to the rear and to the front. So from what this looks like, there are 2 holes on top of here and 2 holes here on the frame where that body mounts at. And it looks like it goes in there. And then there's 2 holes in the bottom. Those should line up as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this mocked up. This kit actually fits very well and looks really damn good. I was thinking about plumbing all the brake lines to the back, but I didn't want to start yet until I actually have the calipers on. So I wanted to wait. And in order for me to get the calipers on, I need the axles in. And for the axles to be in, I need the differential. And yeah, I could probably put the axles in halfway, whatever. But I want everything to be completely done. So this just came in today, which is nice. So here is a 9-inch third member made by Speedway, and we're going to be installing this in there right now. The rear suspension is finally complete. As you can see, we have the shock mounts installed and the shocks installed, and everything is completely together. And all we have to do to finalize the back end is just run brake lines. So this part's going to be tricky. I'm going to start forming some brake lines from this master cylinder all the way to the back to where the axle's at. So what I might have to do, since I'm going to be running the brake line inside of this frame rail right here, I'm going to have to drill a hole here and have the brake line come out, and probably put a coupler here so that way I can fit the rest of the line through here. Now all the brake lines are formed exactly the way I want it, and they're all 100% done, including the axle. As you can see, I have this for this side of the axle, and I have the other piece laying on the floor. Andrew went ahead and TIG weld these tabs on, so these will be held in securely along with this rubber hose right here. So that way when we take the caliper off for service, we actually have room to take it out. Same thing for the other side here. Also, one more tab here on this frame for this rubber hose. This hose is a lot longer than I thought it was when we ordered it. So we went ahead and just have a clamp here so we don't have too much slack on the hose. So while I was working on these brakes, Andrew went ahead and replaced the old stamped steel style control arms with these tubular style ones. Now, we went ahead and changed to this style because this setup will work a lot better with these air springs, and it has a better placement for the shock, because before we had the shock at an angle because the lower control arm was actually like right there, and this newer control arm has a spot for the shock right here that kind of sticks out, which works out perfectly, and this should be a lot more sturdy than before. And I know what you're thinking, we pretty much just scrapped everything we did before in the previous videos and changed it up, but we live and we learn. We found that this setup works a lot better for what we're doing. Also, one last thing to mention, I found these wheels on Facebook Marketplace, so we're gonna go ahead, throw these on, and make this roll. Now we're about to take this frame off of the jack stands for the first time in a very long time with this new setup. So go ahead, Andrew. Yeah, it falls apart. Remove jack stands back here. All right.
That's nice.
And guys, it is officially a roller. Dude, this is so sweet. We get to the show, we park, and Andrew hit the switch. Watch your foot.
And then we need an engine.
There you go. Obviously, we have a temporary setup for now, but it is finally a roller, and this thing's almost ready to pretty much be painted, put together, and driving very soon. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Obviously, we still have a lot more to go. Most likely in the next video, we're either gonna be painting the frame or putting the engine in and getting it running. Not sure which one's gonna be first, but I mean, you guys will see what's next. I know this video took a while to come out, but as many of you guys know, projects like these take quite a while. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.